Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Disch-Falk Field, the place to be tonight. For the number 6 national seed Texas Longhorns get set to battle the WAC champions Tarleton State in the winner's bracket here in the Austin Regional. Weather's going to hold up quite nice, and we take a look at the bracket. Texas Tarleton State, Holy Cross has been eliminated. Loser of this game will get Santa Barbara, who survived and advanced an elimination affair earlier today over Holy Cross. So glad you could join us. A capacity crowd expected here at the Dish. Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott. You can feel the energy in the air for this one.
Well, it is. It's an important game. You're the second game. When you're in the winner's bracket, second game, 82% of those teams that win this game go on to the Super Regional. So it's such an important game. We thought we were going to see a different matchup, but instead of Volantes and Floral, we don't have that, so it's going to be Tarleton State, who really did a great job yesterday.
And by the way, Tarleton State won in this ballpark earlier this season. Meanwhile, yesterday, the Longhorns, an offensive explosion. Not one, not two, not five. 6 home runs, a program record for a postseason game. Anthony Pack Jr., Keith, hit 3 by himself.
Yeah, he was outstanding in the ball game. He hit a breaking ball, and then you look at Aiden Robbins, he came right back. He added a couple of his own, and then capped the night with a grand slam by Duplantier and 6 out of the ballpark.
Longhorns will put their ace on the mound, Dylan Volantes, one of the top pitchers in America at 6'6".
Well, he's just done an outstanding job. He closed games out for the Longhorns last year here in his sophomore campaign. He started out on Sunday as a Sunday starter. Now he has moved to number 1 spot in this rotation.
His stuff has been filthy on the mound with the start for Jim Schlossnagle, the skipper for the Texas Longhorns. You talked about the importance of beginning a regional at 2-0, 82% of the time. Those regional winners started with that mark. And by the way, we've seen upsets all across the land, including maybe one right now happening at number 1 UCLA. Will we see one here in Austin? So far, so good for the favorites, the Texas Longhorns. First pitch coming up next here, deep in the heart of Texas. Take it back in time. Just 74 days ago, they called it the biggest win in the history of Tarleton State baseball. 6-1 victorious here over number 2 Texas at the time. An enormous win, and they slammed the door shut on this Texas offense.
Yeah, they really did a nice job. They hit early in the game, scored a run in the first, and didn't get another hit until the 9th inning, and really took advantage and showed you what they can do in this ballpark. So they're used to coming into this ballpark, and at this point, thinking, hey, we can win, and they've done it.
Jim Schlossnagle told us 2 days ago this was the fastest team that they saw all season. They get base runners. They're going to be aggressive. Didn't see it yesterday because they didn't have to do it. So you take a look at the batting order for the Longhorns, and APJ, the freshman left fielder, not playing like a freshman.
Oh, he is not playing like a freshman. Actually, he has swung the bat the second half of the season as good as any player in America. And this top 3 in this lineup has been outstanding for Texas all season long, and this crowd into it tonight.
Really is the top 1-2 punch in America between Robbins and Tenney. Now you add the Pac-Man to that mix. 1, 2, 3. Tough as outs as you're going to try to get in college baseball in 2026. Had drama just about everywhere. Not as much so far in Austin. And on the mound, Ethan Wendell, the 6'9" junior, and a transfer from Division III, McMurray University.
Yeah, it's in Abilene. He's a guy that has been into the postseason at that level, now moving up to the Division I level. A lot of sink to his fastball. He misses with that one. Not going to overpower you, not going to strike out a bunch of people, but he's a sinker slider guy from 6'9", and he wants you to swing at the bat early and put it in play on the ground.
2-0 to Aiden Robbins. Hard of the plate for strike 1 at 93. We've got literally the 2 tallest pitchers going toe-to-toe tonight in America at 6'9" and 6'6".
Yeah, we got a small forward and a big forward right now.
And Robbins unable to check his swing. The appeal down to first base umpire Jeff Head. Nate White sent the signal down that way, and it evens the count.
I believe the barrel came across. I think that's a proper call.
Robbins, the SEC newcomer of the year, works a full count. 2 for 5 yesterday. The 2 blasts drove in 3 along the way. This crowd is juiced from the jump, and the payoff. Leadoff man aboard. Aiden Robbins draws the walk.
Good start right there. Good at bat. Went out 1 pitch outside the zone on the cutter, but did a nice job. And a leadoff base runner. See if you can apply some pressure. In your home ballpark, it's so unusual for you to bat first. So and to see a Longhorn team in a gray uniform for all these fans, but if you can get out on top early, that would be a huge, huge lift.
Hard-hitting catcher Carson Tenney, the junior from Castle Pines, Colorado, was beamed. Oh, and he didn't like that. He did not like that. Slow stroll down to first base was something to say.
Riding in on him up at the very top. A little excited right now. This ball gets away. You can see Tenney turn his head. Leadoff walk and a hit batter. And all of a sudden, couple on and nobody out.
Tenney's reached 33 straight after being hit off the helmet by the pitch. And Wendell's going to try to relax and calm down. Remember, he's playing D3 baseball a year ago for McMurray, a team that had a surprise run to the Super Regionals at that level. You want to talk about pitching on a different planet tonight, that's exactly what he's doing. And the crowd roars for Anthony Pack Jr., SEC Freshman of the Year. We thought he had a chance to hit 4 home runs yesterday. He left after the 3rd due to cramps. He has been in the zone, leading hitter for the Horns this season. Low and away.
Tried to change. First changeup we've seen. Trying to change different pitches. Again, he tries to sink the ball and cut the ball. An occasional changeup.
Squares to bunt. Takes outside. Well, things coming unglued quickly here in the top of the 1st inning. He's one of the top freshmen in America. He's proven that. Just his first NCAA tournament game. And Wendell find the zone.
Taking all the way there. I mean, you got to force him to throw a strike. I mean, he's just walked a batter and hit a batter, and now he's 2-0 to you. You got to force him to get it in the zone.
Ball 3.
Good sink to that fastball that time. Packed with a really good swing. You don't see him swing and miss very often. That's just the movement of that fastball.
Big moment early in Austin. Pack awaits the payoff. Down the left field line, slicing towards foul territory. 4 rows deep.
You look at it, 13 pitches deep, but how stressful has it already been?
You can feel the tension up here in our broadcast position. 50 feet away from home plate. Texas trying to right the wrongs of a year ago. It lost to UTSA twice. It's the number 2 national seed. 7 pitches in already for this AB for Anthony Pack Jr. Popped it up left side. Foul territory, drifting that direction. Smink's going to make the play. A very big first out.
That took some courage to come back from that. You're struggling with the strike zone. You walk the first guy, you hit the next guy in the head, and then you come back and you're 3-1 and have to make 2 really good pitches to get an out. Now, you can't relax because this lineup's going to keep coming at you.
Timo Becerra, the senior from California. Runners at first and second. After the walk to Robbins, and Tenney was hit in the head by a pitch. And Becerra waits. First pitch strike at 91. 1 for 3 yesterday, a 2-run double for the Horns.
Over the last month, he has been as good a hitter. That's why he's moved up into this cleanout spot in the lineup.
Stanford graduate after 4 years there, now in Austin. 0-2.
It's trying to find somebody to hit behind Pack in the middle part of the season. It's been Becerra, though, since about the 1st of May.
Texas designated as the visiting team today, batting first, as Keith talked about. And a jolt of energy for this capacity crowd to start. To the right side and through for a base hit. The wave around Robbins. Here comes the throw, not in time. 1-0 Longhorns. #200th career hit for Becerra, and it comes in a timely manner.
How about an 0-2, 2-seamer away? Becerra does not think pull. He sits right there and says, I'm going to go with it, and just shoots it into right field, and Texas grabs the lead.
First time Tarleton State has trailed here in this Austin Regional after the 11-5 win over Santa Barbara yesterday. Does not get any easier with Adrian Rodriguez, who was 3 for 4 against Holy Cross a day ago. Off speed at 86 for strike 1. Sophomore out of Flower Mound, Texas, battling injury, switch hitter. See him from the left side. .287 this campaign after the 3-hit game yesterday. Low for ball 1.
Starts him with a change, comes back with a 2-seamer. See what he does here, 1-1.
Tenney at second, Becerra at first. 2 balls and a strike. Getting ready for this one all day long. This home crowd ready to erupt again. UCLA has rallied bottom of the ninth inning out of Jackie Robinson Stadium to tie it up with Virginia Tech at 5. Down to their final 3 outs, trailing 5-3. Number 1 overall national seed Texas at number 6. Rodriguez awaiting the 2-2 outside and just missed.
That was a good take. Tough pitch to take there with 2 strikes. Sometimes you get fooled and you can't pull the trigger. Fortunately, it was outside the zone.
Nate White calling balls and strikes behind home plate. Swung on and missed, a big strikeout. Rodriguez is retired.
Off speed, come back with your fastball. This one elevated, and that's ball 4. It just expanded the zone and got the strikeout.
First for Wendell. 2 away for Casey Borba. Junior out of Santa Ana. Orange Lutheran High School. Streaky player. He's in the zone, look out. And now Wendell inching closer to escaping this massive early jam. Minimal damage. Horn scored 19 runs yesterday. 19. And at least a run in every inning along the way.
Well, they've scored in every at-bat so far in this regional.
Is that good?
That's good. That win a lot of games.
Good start for Luke Harrison yesterday. Veteran pitcher. Cut on. Coming up empty is Borba. Back-to-back strikeouts. The Horns with an early run in the top of the first.
Really did a nice job. Becerra goes with it. Texas grabs the lead.
From the bullpen to the starting rotation to the very top for head coach Jim Schlossnagle. That 2.00 ERA, top 5 in America. Dylan Volantis, the real deal tonight.
Well, he's just got 3 really good pitches. His breaking ball, he's got that curveball you saw right there. He's got the slider to go with it. He can use a changeup where he just gets it back in his hands and he gets some outs with it as well. He can spot the ball around, tremendous command. He will throw his breaking ball. Folks, you'll see it tonight multiple times, 2-0, and he has such command of it, he knows he can throw it for a strike at any moment in the game.
Always cool, calm, and collected. As you take a look at his 14th start, the sophomore campaign, that outstanding breaking ball with command headlines the 8-1 record with the ERA at 2.00.
His frame at 6'6", he delivers, releases the ball at times at 7 feet, so that his frame creates such tilt that as a hitter, it's really difficult to get on top of his baseball.
The Tarleton State Texans, champions of the Western Athletic Conference. Sergio Guerra, 2 home runs yesterday, plenty of pop in the bat. It'll be Tatum, McLeod, and Heinrich that lead it off.
And Heinrich is another guy, watch for him, an excellent player. good offensive hitter.
This is a team that just comes at you in waves. There's no give up. They've battled injuries, particularly with the pitching staff this year. Fuller Smith will remind us 5 of his top 10 arms banged up, and yet they have found a way with the next man up mentality.
Yeah, they have, and then they just keep creating offensively because they put pressure on you. You've got to make the plays on the ball on the ground. They can really run, and they'll run the bases.
Senior out of Kingwood, Texas, Jake Tatum, 2 for 6 yesterday, drove in 2. Tarleton State's first win against the Horns came back on March 17th. We showed you the highlights previously. 0-4 against UT. Tatum hitting .282 coming in. Off speed and out in front that time. Tarleton State making its first appearance in the D1 NCAA tournament, just their second year of being eligible after moving up from D2. To left, little top spin. That's going to drop in front of Pack. Digging for second, big turn. There's the throw. Not in time, a leadoff double. Heads up base running by Jake Tatum.
Well, I tell you what, you got to hustle from this. He cued it right off the end of the bat. He was fooled. This pitch fools him. He's out in front, and it's just enough. Rodriguez can't get to it. Pack can't get to it. Makes a strong throw. Just Pack to second, but the head first slide gets a hand in there.
Texas is challenging the call safe at second base.
So an early review on the 2-bagger for Jake Tatum, 6th of the season, this time from the leadoff spot.
I tell you, it was a good strong throw, but the first indication, you see that left hand, is he on the bag? Does he stay on the bag?
Oh,
that's what they're looking to see if the tag stayed on him.
Well, the foot came down on the bag as the tag was applied, and the hand came off almost simultaneously. This is closer than you think.
Obviously, he's in there quick.
Hand comes
coming up. Is the left foot on the bag before his left hand comes off of the bag.
And do we have enough there to overturn the call without the obstructed view by the second base umpire and Rick Allen?
So Allen stayed with it. He was right there watching it. And Becerra doing a nice job of staying on the tag. He doesn't do anything extra. Just stay right there. Stay right there.
This will be the best angle.
And
hand comes up. Foot comes down. That's a fascinating play.
I don't know. This is close.
That's the best shot we have. There comes the tag. The hand comes up.
Here comes the call.
After review, the play at second base has been overturned to out. Texas retains their challenge. They have 2 challenges left.
A huge play on the leadoff double. He exchanged contact with the bag, going from the hand to the foot, and in that exchange, the tag applied by Becerra. That is a good overturn and a great call by the command center in Pittsburgh.
And I just see enough right there that the hand is up and the tag is still on him. Just great job of staying on it by the veteran Becerra.
And Anthony Pack Jr. makes another play this weekend.
Well, he made a strong throw to get it there. And, you know, it's one of those things I always used to, when I played the game slide and stay, I never tried to, why bounce up?
Instead of a man at second base and no one out, bags are empty for Slade McLeod, starting second baseman with 1 away. We've had some very interesting plays in this Austin Regional. But the aggressive nature of Tarleton State on the base paths, what we talked about in our open, was on full display there.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to force the issue, and that was great hustle to get there. He just tried to get up to celebrate just a hair too soon.
What a night here in Austin. This Texas pitching staff taking another stride forward this year. Their pitching coordinator, Max Weiner. Volantis has been on full display as a result. Missed the pitch, throw down to first, off the drop by Tenney, the first strikeout for Dylan Volantis.
That's a good breaking ball and a nice job by Tenney to make sure he gets it knocked down, and then he bounces out quickly. Knew he had plenty of time, but a great job. He'd smother it, get it off your protector. You know he swung, and then you got time when it's out in front of you to go down and get it and get the out.
2 away for Rainer Heinrich, leading hitter for the Texans at .373. Part of the all-WAC second team a year ago, and his sister Riley played volleyball here in Austin, a 2-time national champion. You know, this game and this regional means a little bit more to the Heinrich family. Talked to Fuller Smith about what sophomore left fielder brings to the table and what he's meant to this team with leadership and production. In a word, he said everything. Fuller Smith, head coach of the Texans. Played his college ball in the SEC at Ole Miss. Update from Los Angeles. The Bruins stay alive. Walk-off victory. Come from behind fashion against Virginia Tech. Trailing by 2 in the bottom of the ninth. Walk-off win.
Yeah, at home. Live to play another elimination game tomorrow. Hopefully playing 2.
Didn't have that on the bingo card this week, did we?
Not.
Ball and 2 strikes. Heinrich awaits. Towards the gap, right center. It'll hang up long enough. Reaching up is Robbins. Well, he made the SportsCenter top 10 play full extension yesterday in the win against Holy Cross. Didn't require quite as much speed or effort there, but he got it done.
Yeah, it took a really nice angle on the run. A dead gallop, reaches, takes it out of the sky. 1, 2, 3. And
Fuller Smith, skipper for the Tarleton State Texans, WAC champions. Jim Schlossnagle for the Texas Longhorns. Second place finish in the SEC. Horns, a regular, the regional final in search of their 51st appearance there for Tarleton State. How about reaching a regional final with a win tonight in their debut in the dance? Last time that's happened for a club, Davidson did it back in 2017.
yeah, it's pretty impressive what they've done. Again, overcoming some injuries.
Larson will lead it off. And the first baseman takes low for ball 2. Ashton 3 for 4, scored twice yesterday. 371 average. I mean, looking for a break, and that batting average actually 286. But you don't get really a pause from top to bottom. Every player, even towards the back end of this batting order, brings a different skill set to the table. We saw that with Darian Pendergrass yesterday.
You can do different things. So you've got left, right, left, right, left. So you have some forces. The pitcher can't stay to one side very often, facing all right-handers or facing all lefties.
We'll see Darian in this frame. The 3-1 nowhere close. And the second free pass issued by Ethan Wendell.
Now the walk and the hit batter turned into a run in the first inning. See what Texas can do with the leadoff walk here.
Mendoza, the junior from Bedford, Texas. Spent his freshman year at Arizona State, South Lake Carroll High School. Came back closer to home. 2 knocks yesterday, hitting .267. Horns this year with 3 players, 17 or more home runs, and now 2 with 20 or more after yesterday.
First time in Texas history, the Longhorns have had 2 players with 20-plus home runs.
Robbins leads the team with 21, Tenney with 20. Yesterday, you would have thought Pack was a part of that party. And here comes a meeting on the mound. R.D. Spees out of the Tarleton State dugout here.
Well, it's tough enough to play a team like a Texas on the road in their building, even though you're the home team and you've got a game win under your belt. If you give them free passes, it's just hard to overcome. It led to a run in the first inning. You walk the first guy, you're 3-0 on the second hitter of the inning, and then all of a sudden it really changes the complexion of what you can do. So you've got to find a way to attack the strike zone.
Already activity brewing Tarleton State bullpen. Jackson Elizondo getting loose in a hurry. Big moments galore early in Austin. Mendoza waits the 2-0. 90 miles an hour, heart of the plate for strike 1. Tarleton State located in Stephenville, Texas, about 2.5 hours north and to the west of here. Quick bus ride down for this regional. Fly ball straight away center. Tracking is Johnson. Ballpark's going to hold it for the first out. How would you describe Stephenville, Texas as it relates to Fort Worth?
It's about 65, 70 miles southwest of Fort Worth, and it's about 150 miles northwest of Austin.
Not a lot of stuff around Stephenville, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they've had a lot of athletic history, especially in high school football in the state of Texas.
Lived in Dallas for a couple of years. I never ventured down that way, coming down from Valley Ranch. Here's Pendergrass, transfer from College of Charleston. And Larson over there at first base with 2 stolen bags this year. Pendergrass out of Hartsville, South Carolina, the PD region of the Palmetto State. A couple of years at Spartanburg Methodist before he ended up down in the Low Country. And this is how he likes to get on base. He's got speed and is crafty with the bat.
He can put the bunt down. He can really run. Tough to double up.
Need to ask Darian. Best barbecue, Texas, Carolinas. What do you think he would tell us?
Oh, you like vinegar or you like tomato based? One of the two.
I'm going tomato based. See if we can grab him at some point this weekend, pose the question. That's a very important question. From his home state and, of course, for everybody here in the great state of Texas. Horns have won 16 of 20 SEC series under Jim Schlossnagle his first 2 seasons here. Mentioned that to us very casually 2 days ago. And his reaction to it doesn't really matter. Now is what matters. The postseason here in Austin is what matters. Coaches here have a text chain. Send out texts, talking to each other, showing support, maybe asking a question or two along the way. He said it feels like, what, every other week or so, congratulations in order for somebody winning a national championship. He'd love to be the next coach to celebrate a title like that. Ball 2.
Texas is maybe on its way to winning another Sears Cup, which is something they take very seriously here in Austin.
Pendergrass to left field. That'll sneak on through. Runners at first and second. Third hit of the weekend for Darian Pendergrass.
Tried to sink it away from him. Did a nice job, did Pendergrass right here. Watch this ball trying to sink it away, but it stays up. Doesn't have that bite to it. Goes with it the other way. Couple on again here. Back to the top of the order.
Second hit for the Horns, the other by Becerra that drove in the first run of the game after Robbins was walked. And Aiden Robbins, leadoff man for Jim Schlossnagle, gets his second AB in as many innings. Larson at second, Pendergrass at first. Up in part of the zone for strike 1. Saw a lot of upsets around the country yesterday. Not quite as many so far today. Although North Carolina was being pushed for a moment by ECU, and UCLA was too. Another moonshot to deep left center. Aiden Robbins in the zone in postseason. A 3-run bomb. His third of the weekend. 4-0 Longhorns.
Ball was elevated up in the zone. 22nd of the year. The Longhorns get some separation.
SEC newcomer of the year. He's not a newcomer anymore with the way the power numbers have elevated this season. I mean, coming in from what he did at Seton Hall, 2 years there, 12 home runs. You mentioned it, 22 now. And working with Troy Tulowitzki, of course, for the Horns and their coaching staff. Here's another shot. Titty, straightaway center. Oh, it's a moonshot over the batter's eye. Back-to-back jacks.
Physicality in these top of this Texas lineup. 21st of the year. I think that's the 5th time this season, if I'm not mistaken, that Tenney has cleared the monster in center field.
.426 feet later, 5-0 Horns. It was Anthony Pack Jr. that put on the show yesterday with 3 blasts. He'll give this one a ride. Deep left field. Anthony Pack Jr. off the top of the wall. Pac-Man is back.
Can you say back to back to back?
Welcome to the postseason, young man. He is growing up as he has all season long right before our eyes. And this crowd unable to sit down after the firework display we just saw on the top of this Texas Longhorns batting order. They've already hit nearly half a mile of home runs this weekend. Becerra.
Well, they got 1,250 feet in this inning.
Keith, this game just started.
Second time through the order, again started with a walk, and it's just so many times that's what happens to you.
Becerra tap foul down the third baseline. I mean, the wind is blowing out. It's shifting towards left center.
That gave Pack a little help there, but Tenney's and Robbins, they might have been out of the Grand Canyon. That's a big part, too.
We're getting stats and notes and updates here in the booth. And no offense, the computer portion, the intel we're receiving can't keep up with the number of home runs and the pace at which they're coming with. 1-2 to Becerra on the outer edge, and a called strike 3. Punch out for Wendell.
Hanging breaking ball. Sinker that didn't sink. Breaking ball that stayed up.
Somebody needs to let Anthony Pack Jr. know it's not this easy all the time.
It's been a really good second half of the season for this young man.
Adrian Rodriguez, the hitter, with 2 outs. Texas a run in the first, 5 in the second. And it's ace on the mound in Dylan Volantis. Something tells me he's not going to be firing a lot of pitches outside the strike zone coming up.
Well, you know, you love getting those runs, but he's been in the dugout a long time, so you got to come back out and get your mindset when you toe the rubber.
Horns had 6 home runs yesterday. We're in the second inning, game 2 already, 3 on the board this evening. Winner of this regional matches up with the winner of the regional in Eugene, Oregon. And the inning is extended. Rodriguez draws the free pass. Third walk issued by Wendell.
Brings the 9th batter of the inning to the plate.
Home runs in this inning, 443 feet off the bat of Robbins, 426 from Tenney, 369 from Pat.
Sorry, 1,235 feet. 1,250 feet.
Your arithmetic is amazing. The quickness, the accuracy.
Seen a lot of balls go a long way.
Now, Borba was one of the few bright spots for the Horns a season ago in the Austin Regional. Drove in 8 runs in a singular game against Kansas State. Elimination contest, game 5. Texas fans would just as soon forget about what transpired in the 2 losses for UTSA. Borba can get on one of those heaters. What we've seen from Robbins, Tinney, and Pack. 59th pitch from Wendell. And a strikeout. You like power? You like homers? You found the right game.
Well, it starts with Robbins. Couple on. Ball. Then it goes to Tinney. And then for the 4th time in this regional, Pack leaves the yard.
Number 6 National seed Texas, a 6th spot on the board. Bottom of the 2nd inning coming up. Back here in the Austin Regional with Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott. Tarleton State coming back up to bat after hitting this Texas-sized buzzsaw. And the Texans 4, 5, and 6. Lorch, McLeod, and Shiren.
Volantis now, it's a little bit different approach you take. He's got such great command. He's not a guy that walks many folks anyway, but he can really attack the strike zone right now.
Tap back to Volantis. Bang bang play over at first as the ball drifted over towards the path. 1 away. Lorch retired.
Now Volantis had bobbled this a little bit and took a little closer to get there. And it's one of those where you got it and he thought he'd had all kinds of time. Then he get to the pot and look and said, I got to let this ball go.
Talked to Schlossnagel about Volantis and kind of what he's like on the field away from the diamond. Here's Cage McLeod. And he said his demeanor is kind of surprising because you don't want to call it happy-go-lucky, but you can run out there on the mound. You got ducks on the pond. Things may be going awry, and ask him how he's doing, and he's like, I'm good, coach.
Yeah.
Has that kind of mentality where at times it can be extremely beneficial. I think you like that because
he is competing at the highest level, but he has a demeanor of it's just another day at the park.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is. And if you can do it, but you're still competing. I mean,
2-0 is going to be ripped into right field. And Cage McLeod, second hit of the ball game for Tarleton State. This one coming with 1 away in the bottom of the 2nd. And you got Slade McLeod hitting 2nd, his brother Cage hitting 5th. And man, the right side of this infield for head coach Fuller Smith at first base and 2nd.
One of the offensive things that the Texans want to do to you is run. Well, you're down this big early. It takes away a lot of your opportunity to run the bases.
Mike Shirey, the senior from Dale, Oklahoma. 3 for 5 in the opening win against Santa Barbara. It was an impressive victory yesterday by Tarleton State. It's a really good UCSB team. 11-5 was the final. And it just felt like every time Gauchos had a rally, the next inning, Tarleton State had a response. Never trailed.
They slugged too. That was the other thing. They used power. They had multiple doubles, a triple, a couple of homers. They're going to need that to get back in this one.
Two-one to Shirey. Bottom fell out for strike 2.
The ability to throw his breaking ball down in the count is what makes him so successful. As a hitter, you work to get good counts, thinking you're going to get fastball, and he has the ability to throw his breaking ball for a strike anytime he wants.
You know, we had the opportunity to watch what some are calling the first pitcher off the board in this summer's MLB draft earlier today in Jackson, Florida. Standing in at 6.5. ERA of 1.05 this year, 11-0, the Big West pitcher of the year. Similar frame, but a different style of pitcher than Volantis.
Yeah, Volantis, Flora pitches off 95 to 96, 97 mile-an-hour fastball, but he does have good off-speed stuff to go with it, but he pitches off the fastball. Volantis pitches off of his breaking ball.
Shirey works a full count. Payoff is fouled away. Volantis last year the SEC Freshman of the Year. Freshman All-American. Led all rookies nationally in whip and in saves. First team All-SEC this campaign, and has earned an invitation to participate in the 2026 USA Baseball Collegiate National Team training. And a strikeout. His second.
Tilt that we talked about with him being 6'6", and then he gets the downward spin with his breaking ball. He gets a ton of that where guys swing right over the top of it, especially in even 3-2 counts, 2-2 counts, 1-1 counts. They swing right over the top of it. They see it and they can't catch up to it.
Sergio Guerra hit 2 home runs yesterday from San Diego, Texas. And a couple of shots down the left field line that really were the difference makers against the Gauchos. And with one swing of the bat, I'd like to think he could put Tarleton State back in this one tonight. Nothing in 2. Guerra started his career at Alvin Community College. An all-WAC second-team performer. And he strikes out. Dylan Volantis dealing early. His team in front 6-0 through 2 here in the Austin Regional. Now, for the first time in 4 seasons, the Texas Longhorns back-to-back Jacks to create this separation here in the Austin Regional. Aiden Robbins, Carson Tinney, Anthony Pack Jr. One more time, give him 4 long balls off the top of the wall in his first 2 postseason contests for the Texas Longhorns.
It's just physical. You can just see the physicality of this team. And that's in 4 ball games last year. They hit 6. They played 2, but they have played 1 in 2+ innings. And they've hit 9 homers.
New pitcher for Tarleton State, Ashton Bassett, the sophomore from Magnolia, Texas.
See his numbers on the year. Awful lot of hits and 25 innings of work. So he's had a ton of base runners. He comes on here. Leadoff walks have started both the first and the second inning for Texas offensively.
Bassett has been charged with finding the strike zone right away against Ashton Larson. He does exactly that. Tarleton State beat Texas here 74 days ago, 6-1. Horns remember that night very well. And Jim Schlossnagle even told us it was 6-1. It really wasn't that close. They dominated us. And so I think there was a healthy respect for this team coming in. There was going to be no glancing over the WAC champions. It's been a sharp, crisp start for Texas tonight.
Everybody talks about Tuesdays that you don't have to do it, but hey, they came in and took control of the game on a Tuesday night here.
Ball 2 to Larson. Ashton from Overland Park, Kansas, an LSU transfer. A couple of years there, second season here in Austin. He'll use the whole field, not the fastest player on this Texas roster. Three hits yesterday. Fly ball to left field. And Heinrich makes the easy play. The first time tonight we've seen the leadoff man retired.
It changes an inning. I mean, Texas could still score, but instead of a guy walking down the first base without the benefit of a base hit, got an out.
Keith, as a player, how hard is it to stay mentally sharp with an early 6-run lead?
Well, I think when you got the lead, it's much easier than it is when you're on the defensive side, because you're sitting here thinking, how are we going to get back in this ball game?
Mendoza swinging away at the first offering down the right field line and foul.
In the dugout, when you have a 6-0 lead, everybody's having fun and doing whatever. You're very much in the game. On the other side, it's solemn. You're looking and thinking, well, is this away from us? Can we, any way we can come back? And doubt comes into play.
Well, it's right at that line, too, where you know one swing and you try to chip away at this. You can't hit the 6-run homer. But if it gets away any further, you start thinking about what could be coming tomorrow. Mendoza gives this one a ride, and it's gone into the bullpen. Ninth of the season for Ethan Mendoza. And the 4th long ball tonight for the Horns.
This Oppo Taco is into the bullpen. I mean, he got a ball. He's hit a few balls that direction with some pop this season. And Mendoza goes the other way. Home run, a part of the package. Said the ball was going to jump, and it's jumping here tonight.
And the trend continues. Texas has scored in every inning of this Austin Regional this weekend.
Yeah, they got it going offensively.
And showing no sign whatsoever of letting up. Here's Pendergrass. Seven-run lead. to shallow left. And charging is Heinrich for the second out. Back to the top of the order, and Aiden Robbins. And don't go anywhere. This is where things start to get interesting for this team.
3 at-bats in the game. We're in the top of the third.
And he's hungry for more.
He's walked and scored a 3-run homer.
Keith, he's been to the buffet twice tonight, loaded up, back for a third helping.
It's a little early for dessert.
It's never too early for dessert. You kidding me? Jim Schlossnagle going to join us in the bottom half of this inning. We'll get his perspective on this hot start for the Horns. To center. A base hit. Robbins aboard for the 3rd time today. A little scuba over at first base. Why not?
Had the shift on in the infield and just rifled it back up through the middle.
Where do you get a break in this Texas batting order?
Well, so far, I would say in this regional, there has not been a guy. Sarah's come up with some big hits. Rodriguez with 3 hits yesterday. So it's been up and down all the way.
North Carolina has bounced back to grab the lead against ECU 7-5. West Virginia and Kentucky knotted up at 8, bottom of the 7th in Morgantown. But Arkansas and Kansas in a tight one, bottom of the 5th. Hogs with a 2-run lead. Tenney able to check his swing for ball 1. Now Carson Tenney, 2nd team All-SEC. Defense behind the dish, probably a little better than most realize. Frames it so well as a catcher. The year of the catcher, really, you think about it in college baseball.
Oh, no question. There's 5 or 6 guys that you just look at their year and go, wow.
Strong year for Sergio Guerra, too, for Tarleton State, of course. We talked about that with the 2 homers yesterday. Schloss will tell you, never been a good team without a good catcher. Ball 3. Tenney's homer in the 2nd. Exit velo of 112. 426 feet. And now a warning towards the Texas dugout. As Rick Allen coming in from second base is positioned back there. Inside, ball 4. Tenney's reached all 3 plate appearances. Robbins has as well. He's standing at 2nd. Here's Anthony Pack Jr. And he's just got a spring in the step. As confident as you will see a player in his 2nd postseason game. SEC Freshman of the Year, he's turning out to be clearly, easily one of the best first-year players in America.
A little cutter, just hasn't been able to connect to get ahead. Pitch behind, hitters become so much more patient.
Put a ball in the strike zone right now to Anthony Pack Jr.
Might be number 5.
Didn't expect him to square to bunt.
I did not either, but he was taking all the way. It was not his intent to bunt. He was just going to force him to throw a strike.
7 straight out of the zone. The Tarleton State pitcher, Bassett. Just grabbed the outer edge. We talked to Pack 2 days ago. He said it was his goal to be the SEC Freshman of the Year. Jim Schlossnagle announced at team meeting, along with all the other awards for the Horns this year. Dream come true, the California native. His family is in town this weekend. Anthony Sr., his mom, a nurse at UCLA. Dad, a longtime member of the LAPD out west. Sister Taylor played softball at Ohio State. Athletic family. He was taught to look people in the eye, tell them yes ma'am, yes sir. Speak the truth. Ball 4 upstairs. Horns have him loaded. And he's got a flair for the dramatic with all of these home runs and the curtain calls, Keith.
As he gets around, see it. Exciting when he goes up there. Tightened up on one of those curtain calls. Had to come out of the game yesterday.
Left the contest out in left field due to cramping. Told us afterwards that was something that would be a priority before today. Everything so far so good for the freshman. Standing at first base. Horns have him loaded for Becerra. The floodgates have officially opened. A 7-0 lead. The number 6 national seed. Becerra 3 for 10 with the bases loaded this year.
It's the first pitch break a ball in there for a strike. Changes what you can do now. You got to find a way to get an out here. You're already chasing 7.
This Texas team, the top 10 in America in seeing pitches, trademark under Jim Schlossnagle. Ball 1 in the turf.
They're going to force you to throw strikes. And if you don't, they're going to take advantage and get the walks, and then all of a sudden walks turn into runs.
That's how the game started. The walk to Aiden Robbins. He came around to score to make it 1-0 early. And Becerra turned on it a bit too quickly.
That's scary when you're the runner at third base coming down the line.
Robbins dancing around, well off the bag at third. 2-2.
You want to make it happen here. If you can get an out, because you go 3-2, you put these runners in motion, and with pack speed, he can score a long single.
Bassett with a 2-2, and he struck him out. Horns leave him loaded. Another run touches home plate. 7-0 Texas. Jim Schlossnagle, year number 2 in Austin, joins us next. Back here in Austin, Texas, Aiden Robbins has left the ballpark. Carson Tenney went yard, and Anthony Pack Jr. his 4th home run of this Austin Regional underway. 7-0 Horns. Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott. It is all UT to start. Head coach at Texas, Jim Schlossnagle, joins us now. Coach, I asked you about Anthony Pack Jr. yesterday and the home run parade that he was a part of. Now you got Aiden Robbins with 3 long balls. Everything seems to be working for you so far.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a sign for that they could execute. that'd be super awesome. No, I mean, it's a long ball game. You know, need Dylan to find his rhythm. You know, kind of the longer innings. They're awesome. You know, you want the runs, but you also want your pitcher to get in a good rhythm. So this is a big inning right here.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to ask you about Dylan. He really has been able to attack the bottom of the zone.
He has, and I mean, this is a good hitting team, and they really fight with 2 strikes, as you see some of those flares with 2 strikes. But he's just got to stay on the attack.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck rest of the way.
All right, thanks so much. Hook 'em.
Raphael Smink will lead things off for Tarleton State. You know, we talked with Coach Schlossnagle about what happened last year. And Anthony Pack Jr. told us this week, of course, he wasn't here a year ago. He's a freshman, first-year player coming in, but it's been a topic in the dugout, in the locker room, off-season workouts, and making sure how last season ended here in the Austin Regionals, the number 2 national seed, basically getting swept out by UTSA. That didn't happen again this go-around. Schloss told us this week, no, it's not really something he's talked about a lot recently because he didn't have to.
Well, you know, the guys that were here, remember, there's no question. You get beat in this ballpark with this type of crowd, 10,000 nearly in the ballpark. You look at it, and it's not something you're going to forget. But each year is a different team, and you know you have to go about things different ways. And guys are in different roles. Volantis a closer last year. This year now he's a starter. You don't have the same guys in the infield, so it's a different team. But they obviously know what took place in 2025.
I posed the question to Pack, and before I could get it out, he was like, yeah, I've heard all about it. I know all about it. We've talked all about it. And he said it was a dominant thought at times, even during the regular season. Not that it was a daily thing, but I think that has brought Texas to postseason play in a more crisp manner. They won and done in the SEC tournament. You're wondering, okay, what is this going to look like? You get some time off. You start to gain health and strength and perspective. And all those things add up to what we saw yesterday, a 19-run explosion. In the 3rd inning today, already 7 on the board for UT. To Johnson, and the count runs full. Kendall Johnson without a knock in this Austin Regional, 0 for 5 yesterday, despite the fact the Texans played at 11 against Santa Barbara. Outside corner and a called strike 3. The punch out.
4th of the ball game, and you do not see Volantis get fired up very often. But he fell behind 3-0, was upset at himself. And watch as he finishes this pitch right here. You can get that little extra. You can see. And that's unusual. He is pretty much most of the time pretty much stays within his game. But you can tell fired up about that coming back from 3-0.
There's Jake Tatum. And a single to left field. Was thrown out trying to get to second base. A play where it was originally ruled safe. Popped up off the bat. Tag was applied by Becerra the entire time. And as the weight transferred from the hand to the cleat, there was about a 2-inch separation. The tag being applied. Went to the command center in Pittsburgh. They overturned the call. And feels like that was a pretty significant moment, kind of a tone setter tonight.
Oh yeah, it would have been much different. You'd have had a leadoff double. Start the bottom of the 1st.
Made him a transfer from Sam Houston. Won a WAC championship there and appeared in the dance. And he strikes out looking here. The 5th punch out for Dylan Valantis, and a little swagger off the bump tonight.
He just has an outstanding breaking ball. He drops it in there for the strikeout.
An electric start for the Texas Longhorns here in the Austin Regional, trying to go 2-0. You do that, guess what? You got a great chance to advance to the Super Regional round next weekend. And if Texas does that, they're back here in the friendly confines of the Dish, awaiting the winner of the Eugene Regional. Good start tonight. Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott, 7-0. The Horns coming back up to bat in the top of the 4th. Bassett remains on the mound. Adrian Rodriguez, the hitter, in the 5-hole again tonight for the Horns.
He's going left-handed all the time now. He's registered as a switch hitter, but he's been facing the lefties over the last 3 weeks, all left-handed.
Love giving you some updated scores around the country. Kansas Jayhawks in Lawrence hosting a regional for the first time. Tied things up against Arkansas, 3 runs apiece. West Virginia and Kentucky still knotted up at 8. Bottom of the 8th in Morgantown. Take me home, country roads.
Kentucky, considered one of the last few teams to get into this field, putting themselves in a position of 2-0.
Nebraska and Ole Miss underway in Lincoln. Scoreless bottom of the 1st. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rodriguez. At Oklahoma and Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Bottom 4, 3-1 Yellow Jackets, the number 2 national seed. You see the other scores flashing right-hand corner at the top of your screen. Well, Rodriguez, whatever it's been, it's happened against Missouri the last couple of seasons. The Horns have suffered some injuries against the Tigers, and Rodriguez, it was a series of incidents. Hurt his hand a year ago at Mizzou. You mentioned a switch hitter, really left-handed hitter this season. Was fine in the fall, then re-aggravated a hand injury, had surgery. There was a staple that was inserted into that hand. It turns out he's allergic to titanium, I believe it was.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Missed some time. And you think about what this lineup is now, electric, and what it potentially could be if Rodriguez is close to 100%. Now, he still had 3 hits yesterday. He's walked already in this second game of the Austin Regional for the Horns. Full count. But that could be something to watch here.
No question. He's getting healthier every day. He's starting to get some of his power back.
3 home runs this season. Well off the plate. Leadoff man aboard for the Horns. 3rd time in 4 frames. We've said that. 6th walk tonight, excuse me, Keith, issued by Tarleton State.
The leadoff walks turn into runs. So it's just really, you can't overcome it. There's no way to defend it.
Rodriguez with 12 steals this season. Strike 1, Casey Borba. Casey struck out twice tonight. 1 for 6 yesterday. He was the last Horn to get a hit. You have an offensive explosion with 19 runs in a game. It's going to skew some of the numbers to start postseason play. That's what happened yesterday against Holy Cross. Crusaders have already been eliminated. Lost again today to Santa Barbara. Missed that game. Missed the Jackson Flores show. 8 solid innings, gave up just 1 run. Could be the first pitcher selected this summer's MLB draft.
Yeah, he was outstanding.
Now the Gauchos tomorrow, along with the loser of this game tonight, try to grind their way, try to get to the Supers. Not easy to do, especially on the road.
This game, the 1-1 game, when you're 1-0, both teams 1-0, we've given you the numbers. We saw that it's just such a huge factor because you know that, especially if you're the host, somebody's going to have to beat you twice in your home ballpark.
Ashton Bassett comes home. Foul back and out of play. Great crowd on hand tonight. Sun will set about 1 hour from now here in ATX. Healthy cut that is fouled straight down. Oklahoma State and a rally after Alabama State rallied Hattiesburg.
There's a lot of things going on in Hattiesburg.
Well, that one was in Tuscaloosa, but in Hattiesburg I was getting to that Virginia win over Southern Miss. You think about all the work you do to be able to host for a team not in a power league like Southern Miss, and you put together the resume, you make sure the strength of schedule is there, you win all your games, you get to host in that raucous environment down there, and then you're 2 and done.
2 and barbecue.
That is a bitter pill to swallow for that program. One of the prideful programs in all of college baseball. Borba is going to strike out for the 3rd time tonight.
The other part about that is those environments are so electric when the home crowd's playing. So all of a sudden now you're going to have, they have 3 ball games at least left there, and the Southern Miss crowd's not going to be there.
Larson's 0 for 1. Rodriguez still at first base with 1 away, the top of the 4th. And that sidestep and toss over to first. Gets towards the front row of the stands here at the dish. And that'll put Rodriguez at second base in scoring position.
That was an odd throw, not on target. It looked unusual. See the back foot come off the bag, and he's trying to get as close to that 45-foot angle, but not anywhere close where you can. Fortunately, just advances the runner 90 feet.
Horns looking for more. Scored in every inning this weekend in Austin. All 8 yesterday, the first 3 tonight. Texas has already seen 100 pitches here in the top of the 4th inning, Keith.
Do not go outside the zone. They force you to throw strikes.
You can certainly talk about the influence of Troy Tulowitzki. It's a great feature that ran earlier today. A sit-down interview with Chris Burke from ESPN talking with Max Weiner and Tulo. And they do it certainly in different ways with their leadership style, with their instruction. Larson spins away. High and tight. Remember, Weiner was one of the youngest pitching coordinators in Major League Baseball history. The Seattle Mariners back in 2018, he wasn't even 25 years old.
He's so positive when he's around him. Does such a great job on these young men with their mound presence. Not only their delivery and things like that, but
Rodriguez goes and successfully steals third. 13th stolen base of the season in 17 attempts for A-Rod.
Just gets an outstanding jump. Easily into the bag.
And Larson walks on the pitch low and away. Horns with runners at the corners, just 1 away here in the 4th inning. Mendoza home run in 2 plate appearances. Traveled 365 feet to right center. This is 9th of the season. In case you're wondering, Texas just 2 of 6 with runners in scoring position tonight, Keith. Maybe something they need to work on.
Well, if you hit it far enough, doesn't matter where they are, what position they're. They don't have to be in scoring position. They can be at first, or they could be at the plate.
I like how you just frame all of that, and you've said it a couple of times this weekend. We call it slugging.
Yeah, it's just slug. When you can slug the ball, it takes 3 singles to score a run. It takes 1 extra base hit, usually scores runs.
Keith digs the long ball, is what I'm hearing.
If you can hit him, hit him.
2 balls and a strike to Ethan Mendoza. Runner goes from first, throw down to second into center field. That's going to plate another run. And Larson gets all the way to third. Second error on Tarleton State. 8-0 Texas.
And again, they've scored in every offensive frame in the regional so far. And this just didn't come out of his hand very well. No chance to make a play at either location, second or third.
So the E2 plates the unearned run. Larson 90 feet away. Bassett sends it in front of home plate. And the Horns will have runners at the corners again with another 3-pass issue.
Can't defend it. I know I've said it that many times. Obviously, when you have a team that's swinging the bat the way Texas is, you don't want to lay it in the middle of the zone, but they're taking their equipment off, dropping their gloves, and walking to first base, you're not gonna win.
Activity in the Tarleton State bullpen. As Pendergrass takes low and away for ball one. That was Andrew Harden, the righty, staying loose. Keith with only one out. After Pendergrass, you're back meat on the bone.
We're back to Robbins having 4 at-bats in 4 innings. Pendergrass can really run, tough to double up, even if you get a ground ball here.
Strike on the outside corner at 91. Texans won the WAC regular season title and the tournament championship. It's kind of fun. You think about the Western Athletic Conference, you think back to the Wild West and college football gridiron and some of those crazy high-scoring affairs in the early late 80s. Yeah,
let's put it up.
Fun times and amazing to see the conference, albeit in a totally different light, still alive and kicking. Full count. I mean, it felt like everybody in the WAC at some point in the 90s, early 2000s ended up in the Mountain West. A lot of those teams ended up in different leagues. Payoff to Pendergrass. Low, ball 4. Tarleton State pitchers tonight. 9 walks. They've hit a batter, and the Horns have them loaded again for the top of the order in Aiden Robbins.
I think we're going to have a pitching change here. Robbins will come to the plate for the 4th time in 4 innings.
Texas without a hit in this frame. 4 free passes and a strikeout. E1 and E2, and that's already led to a run. And here comes Harden out of the Texans bullpen as we step aside in Austin.
Welcome to Squeeze Play. All the highlights, all the big moments.
Get a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag squeeze play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
The storybook season will continue.
Squeeze play, the place to be, as it is here in Austin, Texas. 8-0 our score. Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott here at Dish Falk Field. Texas with the bases loaded. 4 walks have been issued in this inning. And here's Aiden Robbins. Andrew Harden, the senior right-hander from Round Rock, Texas, on the mound. His 18th appearance this year with a 1-0 record. 21 strikeouts, 19 bases on balls. Low and away for ball 2.
Dangerous pitch coming here.
Robbins with 2 home runs yesterday, 1 today. 4 hits in the weekend in all. Nowhere to put Aiden Robbins. Doesn't get any easier after this. A walk and an RBI. 9-0 Texas. Coming home is Larson. Mendoza moves to third. Pendergrass at second. And from one big bat to the next, here's Carson Tenney.
Five walks in the inning. Can't defend it.
Tenney with 21 home runs, including 1 tonight. And he has 2 grand slams this season. Couple of strikes from Harden. 0-2. Carson Tenney, second team All SEC. Plate awareness outstanding. Coming into the weekend has drawn a team high 45 walks. A couple of seasons at Notre Dame. Led the Irish in batting average, runs, home runs, total bases, walks, on base percentage, virtually every offensive category you can think of a year ago.
And this is the year of the catcher in college baseball. He's one of the good ones. He's one of those 4 or 5 that when you start listing them out across college baseball, that's an elite group.
Pound the chest. Dig back in, back of the box. Breaking ball that was ripped. Foul. Well, from Daniel Jackson, Brendan Brock, Carson Tenney, Vaughn Lackey. Pick your poison.
Yeah, all 5 of those guys can play. They play at a very high level.
Boy, hold your breath here. What kind of damage can Tenney do? He gets one in the zone. Five walks in the inning. 2 runs are in. Bases remain loaded. Ball 4. Free pass and an RBI. Mendoza comes home. 10-0 Texas. Top of the order tonight for the Horns. Robbins has reached all 4 times. Tenney has reached all 4 times. RBIs and runs all over the scorebook. And Tarleton State just trying to find a way by a couple of outs.
You try to make good pitches. You found a way to get ahead. And sometimes when you get ahead, pitchers say, well, I want to make a good pitch. Maybe I can get the ground ball double play here. And sometimes you got to hope they hit it at somebody and attack within the strike zone with your best stuff. Because you can't defend a leadoff walk, a strikeout, a walk, a walk, a walk, a walk, and a walk. You can't defend it.
I lost count of the walks there.
Yeah, yeah. Let the other guys play, as I've said before. Don't be selfish. Let them get involved. Let them try to make a play.
The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus, the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Anthony Pack Jr. 4 homers this weekend. Doesn't appear to be cramping tonight.
He's hydrated.
I would have just gone straight pickle juice. That probably would be the only thing I would have consumed.
Or sweet and sour?
Dill.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got 11 home runs in his freshman campaign. 4 have come in the last 28 hours. 4. Eight for 12 with the bases loaded. Growing up in California, his dad used to grab the remote control, pretend it was a microphone, and ask him questions like he was being interviewed, as he was 2 days ago by us here at the Dish. It was practice, getting ready for the big time, for the spotlight. I'd suggest it's worked out quite well to Anthony Sr. Another walk, another run. 11-0. Fuller Smith in that Tarleton State dugout, searching for answers, searching for outs. Texas still without a hit in this inning and has scored 4 times. Keith, you've seen a lot of baseball. You played a lot of baseball. You've called a lot of baseball. You've coached a lot of baseball. What do you do?
Got to find a way to get a young man to believe that I got to throw strikes. These guys are trying their best to throw strikes. It's not like they're not trying to get it over the plate. They're just struggling to find command of the ball within the zone. And then you start to aim the ball. Sometimes you got to look at them and say, let it go. Just reach back, throw as hard as you can go, and just let it go.
Cut it loose.
Cut it loose. See what happens.
Wild pitch brings home Robbins. Box score is starting to look like the start of a long-distance phone call in the late 80s. 1-5-1-5. First base is open. And a pitch clock violation makes it 3-0. Oh boy. Tenney at third, Pack Jr. at second. Becerra waits the 3-0. Baseball's a funny game. It can be the best sport in the world. It can humble you in a minute. It's a game of failure with incredible outcomes and at times devastating results. Becerra draws another walk. And it's the Second time in this inning we've seen Adrian Rodriguez. I would tell you that Texas has batted around after 7 straight walks. I don't know if that makes sense to frame it that way.
Right. We're going to see if he is okay. Trainer goes out, have a conversation to see if he is all right. Umpire will come check. Count as a visit.
Give you a couple of scores. More activity in the Tarleton State bullpen. Kentucky has moved out in front of West Virginia 11-8, top of the 9th in Morgantown. KU and Arkansas tied at 3. Oklahoma now within a run of Georgia Tech in Atlanta, 3-2, top of the 6th. How about the run by Milwaukee? 2-0 lead against UCF, the Auburn region. After defeating the Tigers last night, all coming after a 5-23 start in the regular season. 5 wins, 23 losses, now a win away from a regional final.
That's unbelievable. I mean, when you told me, I did not know that stat until you gave it to all the folks yesterday, and I did a great job of finding in the second half of the season a way to get into the tournament, and then you go to Auburn and a national seed and find a way to come up with a victory.
Appears as if Harden wasn't 100%. That's going to prompt a pitching change. And we'll tell you about the new Tarleton State hurler when we come back. Here in Austin, Texas, Horns have them loaded again. Hard to put the proper perspective on the inning we've witnessed thus far. This graphic does a reasonable job. 8 walks, no hits, 5 runs have scored. There's only 1 out, a couple of pitching changes, bases are loaded. And credit Texas with its approach, its discipline at the plate, which we knew about coming into this weekend. They're not going to swing at balls out of the zone. And that's been a problem for Tarleton State, trying to find the strike zone.
You really have to. 3 different pitchers have struggled, so you look at that number on the board, 5 spot, 8 walks, no hits in the inning. Still loaded with 1 out.
7 straight free passes. It has been an offensive juggernaut since the beginning of the NCAA tournament. It's Connor Doucette, senior right-hander from the Woodlands, on the mound now for Tarleton State. This team's certainly better than what it's shown so far. Down the left field line. That's going to stay in foul territory for the 2nd out of the inning.
That's a nice play. That's a really nice job. Heinrich does a good job of getting himself in position, understand where the padded wall is, and then makes the play. Not deep enough to get the run home. And those strikes, you get an out.
Casey Borba, 0 for 3. He struck out a couple of times. Borba came out of the gates on fire. 9 home runs in the month of March, then cooled down in April, then started to get hot again towards the end of the season. Only player tonight for Texas that is yet to reach. If you want to be nitpicky, this would be the one area maybe he could play that game. Trying to get Borba going. Shift in play, he turns on that one. Launches it deep into the night. The race is on for a souvenir.
Shift on in the infield and deep in the outfield, expecting Borba to pull the ball.
Hits it a mile high, fair territory. And into left field, Heinrich ends the inning. 5-run score without a single hit by the Horns. Fuller Smith joins us next. We'll ask him about what he's telling his team down in the dugout. Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott back here in the Austin Regional. The Horns have jumped out in front of Tarleton State, champions of the WAC, and the head coach joins us now, Fuller Smith. And Coach, we've talked to you a couple times this week. You've mentioned the adversity that your club has had to face with the injuries to the pitching staff. You got more tonight. What do you tell your club down there to try to chip away at this thing?
Yeah, just keep coming. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we've created a lot of our own issues. Walking 13 guys, you're not going to beat a 9U Stephenville Little League team, let alone University of Texas. So, you know, we got to fill up the zone and try to scratch and claw our way back in it. You know, and obviously Volante has been very good on the mound. He's one of the best in the country. He's doing what he does best, but we got to find a way to kind of scratch and claw and see if we can get back in this thing over the next 3 to 4 to 5 innings.
And Coach, the good news is double elimination. If you can't come back, you get another chance tomorrow. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Slade McLeod will lead things off, and a number that's sent foul. McLeod brothers done a ton of damage for this Tarleton State club. Back half of the schedule, you got Slade at second base, Cage at first. Two of the great baseball names in the sport. Your name is Cage McLeod. There's something about that that pops. Slade sends it to second, and there's one away.
Well, you've been in the dugout so long if you're Volantis. You went down to the bullpen. You got to stay warm down there, but you get back out on the mound, and it's been a while since you've been there. So he comes back, and you got to keep attacking, and he does that, gets that first out against a good hitter.
Keith, when you start thinking about this thing, you're down 12. Loss tonight, though, doesn't end your season. For the skipper, do you start having the wheels turn a little bit towards tomorrow? I know you want to come back. I know you want to chip away. All that stuff sounds good. Heinrich Sends it to second. Slow roller. Took a funny hop. Awkward throw towards the dugout. Tarleton State with a base run with the first team all-WAC performer in left field in Rainer Heinrich. But
I think that's going to be an infield hit. And you're right. Offensively, I think you want to get your guys to start feeling comfortable and say, hey, let's start getting something going offensively. On the backside, you're not going to go to anybody. You know now pretty much that you're going to have to use a lot of your back end of your staff. Those guys are going to get rested today. They're going to be guys that you weren't really probably plan on using, and you're not going to lose the ones that you know have been getting outs for you in this ball game, understanding where you're going to be tomorrow. At this point, it looks like you'll be in an elimination game.
And facing a team that you beat yesterday 11-5 in UC Santa Barbara, and knowing that you're not going to see its ace in Jackson Flora, who pitched today against Holy Cross in a game that Gauchos had to win to stay alive. So the infield knock for Heinrich. And now Carson Lorch with one away. Tarleton State batter. And if you're Texas, you're just trying to keep your foot on the gas. All gas, no brakes. You got the lead. Galantis go out there, throw strikes. And Texas is still stacked up quite well with some of its premium bullpen talent. And we expect to see Sam Cozart along the way. Ruger, you expect, is going to get some significant tosses out there at some point this weekend. Kansas has moved out in front of Arkansas again, 4-3. Oklahoma's tied it up. Georgia Tech and Atlanta. 3-2 to Lorch. Carson Lorch out of Cypress, Texas. Northeast Texas Community College transfer. And he'll draw the free pass. So after the single by Heinrich, Lorch walks, and now Tarleton State with 2 aboard.
First time they've had 2 base runners in an inning in the ball game. In the bottom of the 4th.
What was the biggest comeback? Do you remember the biggest comeback you ever had, either here at Texas or in the Bigs?
I think anything. I don't remember one that was over 7.
First AB with runners in scoring position tonight. At least one runner. I feel like for some reason those comebacks, I say more prominent now. We see more of them now, but as a Braves fan, I feel like once a year Atlanta gets in front of the Nationals 10-0 and Washington comes back and wins. I don't know why that's the case, or the Phillies.
Wrigley too, the wind blowing out. You can have big comebacks in that.
Colorado. Cage McLeod, a big rip, and he comes up in. 1-2 strikes. Still a warm night. Not quite as toasty as yesterday. And McLeod strikes out.
Really good breaking ball. That's what Lance can do. His first walk that he issued, but he comes back facing a left-hander. Just carves him up to get the strikeout.
Gorgeous night in the capital city. There have been some other regional hosts that have not been so lucky with the inclement weather. Tallahassee, Atlanta, Auburn last night, all suffering through lengthy delays. Shirey comes up empty. Did back-to-back regionals in Coral Gables. 22 and 23, and literally during one of those regionals, a hurricane moved through South Florida.
Well, that's awful fun. That sounds like a real.
The worst part of the storm missed the state, but the rain was significant. Runners go. And a strikeout recorded by Volantis, his 7th. 4 innings of shutout baseball. Texas in control. It's its neighbors from Stephenville. And Dylan Volantis worth the price of admission. Well, if you missed the memo, Jackson Flora on the mound, getting the start. Arguably the top pitcher in college baseball this season. 8 solid innings, yielding just the 1 run as Santa Barbara had to win against Holy Cross, and it did so and then some. 15-1 was the final score of it. Flora as advertised, and of course Santa Barbara awaiting the loser of this game tonight between Texas and Tarleton State. Obviously advantage Longhorns. And potentially those two with a rematch tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern in our second elimination game of the weekend.
Well, when you watch it, just to finish up on Flora, he was a guy that had great mound presence. He came out, took control of the game early. It was a smoking hot afternoon, and pitched 8 wonderful innings. He made 1 mistake in the game. And gave up the solo homer, but he was outstanding.
Ashton Larson, first baseman, will lead things off for the Horns. 7, 8, and 9. Appreciate Fuller Smith joining us there in that previous frame. Not easy to do the way that his team has performed tonight, and we'll tell you, Jim Schlossnagle will tell you, this team much better than what they've shown. And perhaps this is one of those evenings where you lose 5 key pitchers on your staff. That kind of comes back and haunts you a little bit.
Now, you're down in your roster. There's 34 players that you have that you can take with you. When you have 4 or 5 of them that don't have a lot of experience, you hate that maybe their first experience not being a regional, and that's because of the injury situations. And the other thing you've got to look at is, again, when you look at the scoreboard, I'll say it again, you're going to say, all right, you're not going to pitch tonight, you're not going to pitch tonight, you're not going to pitch tonight, because we got to save you for tomorrow. And it's not that you're giving up on the game. You could score 8 runs and then all of a sudden that may change. But right now, you're looking at it and say, all right, we've got to get the rest of the outs in this ball game with guys that we haven't counted on to get a lot of outs.
Doucette, currently the pitcher for the Texans, and a full count to Larson. Texas has been uncanny offensively. Will attempt to keep its streak alive of scoring in every inning. They've had ABs so far this weekend. Leadoff walk to Larson. Of course, that's the other angle you can take if you're Fuller Smith headed into tomorrow. We control our ability to find the strike zone. Things feel, sound, and look a lot different. And tonight the Horns go to the back-to-back-to-back home runs. First time that's happened since May 1st of 2022 against Oklahoma State. And then the last inning, without a hit, scoring 5 times on 8 walks, 2 errors, and a wild pitch. Winner of the Austin Regional faces off with the winner of the Eugene Regional. Super Regional round next week. That's a big deal. In a moment that young man will remember.
Oh, yeah.
With mom. Milwaukee still leading UCF. Two 0, bottom of the second at Plainsman Park in Auburn. Gators have put up 6 in Gainesville against Miami. When you get the baseball at that age,
He's got to share it with everybody. Everybody's
I was
got to
going to
take a
say,
look.
you share it here, you go back home. You can't just put it in some kind of case. You gotta throw it around.
Yeah, I mean, unless you can find a way to get one of the guys that you really admire on the field to sign it, then you might do it.
I would go get an autograph from Anthony Pack Jr. or Carson Tenney or Aiden Robbins or Dylan Volantis or A-Rod or all of the above. It's a foul ball. The thing may be worth something in about a year.
Never know. First and foremost, is say, hey, I got a baseball that says NCAA Collegiate Championship on it.
I did collect a mountain of baseball cards growing up. Did I tell you my theory on that?
Okay.
I'd go maybe 86, 87. Massive collection of Topps baseball cards. The 87 version had the wood grain borders.
Yes, it did.
Love those. And so it was around that time I just became enthralled with Wade Boggs. I thought he was going to eclipse Pete Rose's all-time hits record. So I just loaded up on all the Wade Boggs rookie cards I could get. Donruss, Fleer, Topps. 2-2. And I still have all of those rookie cards, like under the plastic.
There you go.
And they're in my closet back home in South Carolina right now. Problem is, I don't think they're worth very much. Because Wade Boggs was really good, but he never came close to 4,000 plus hits. So my investment strategy really didn't pay off. Two-hopper over to second. And the first out. That'll allow the runner to advance, and Larson is now standing at second base.
There's still some value in those cards.
There is. And outside of Wade Boggs, I have, a handful of other rookies that.
Rookie cards are probably the most valuable.
Right. And I still have that top set. Keith, I'm telling you, I remember right now, it was 792 cards. And I sat there one summer's day and organized them from 1 to 792. I want to say it took me like 12 hours so that I could go find whatever card I needed at some point later in life.
Yeah, you'd say, well, I've got them numbered.
And somewhere within that long box, there's a Keith Moreland card in there.
If you've collected in the 80s, I would guarantee you they're there. It's there.
Here's Pendergrass.
163 different versions of it, if you want to know the truth.
It's awesome. Pendergrass is 1 for 2. Horns lead at 12-0 here in the top of the 5th inning in Austin. But the wood grain border, that was the one.
Those are great. And the Diamond Kings were the two that lots of people collected.
Had a Don Mattingly rookie that I was very fond of.
Donnie baseball.
Yeah. You can go by those old packs that have been unopened today, and sometimes they still have that hard stick of gum in there. You don't want to touch that 35 years later.
I wouldn't think so.
Not a good idea. 2-2 to Pendergrass. Fouled it straight down. Sun will set here officially in about 14 minutes. Capital City. ATX. The Texas Longhorns flexing so far as the number 6 national seed. At the knees, but inside. Full count. Wind starting to pick up its pace towards left field. Pendergrass, a good eye and a quality take. Another walk.
5 plate appearances for Aiden Robbins in 5 innings.
He's walked twice, singled, and homered. And there you see the breeze. Low-hanging clouds. No threat of precip tonight. 15 walks issued by Tarleton State pitching this evening, however.
15 free passes and a hit batter.
Crowd has quieted down with this 12-run lead. Robbins wouldn't mind changing that. A little more electricity in the ball yard. You know, Robbins, we go back to his time. I mentioned this yesterday a little bit. At Seton Hall. 2 years there. First season in Austin, SEC Newcomer of the Year. He's always a great contact guy, but the power and the way he swings the bat, and the plane of the bat itself.
He's got great whip. The extension through it. He just keeps accelerating through contact.
His work with Troy Tulowitzki, huge difference. I also think the mental approach from talking to these players 2 days ago and watching Texas from afar this year with Tulo and how you approach the plate appearance and the game itself, the perspective needed. Strike 2.
Get some great confidence in the other part of hitting with 2 strikes. You see a lot of pitches as a team, and that means when you see a lot of pitches, a lot of times you're hitting with 2 strikes. And the ability, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to panic because you have 2 strikes.
Sometimes I panic as a broadcaster with 2 strikes. It'll be tough as a player. A lot of souvenirs being passed around tonight on the concourse. This ballpark opened back in '75. Robbins turns on it, over to third. Smink, and a quick turn by McLeod at second for the twin killing. 5-4-3 to retire the side. And for the first time this weekend, Texas without a run in an inning. Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Austin, Texas, the place to be tonight, especially if you're a fan of the Texas Longhorns. And Dylan Volantis has been absolutely on fire. 4 innings, shutout baseball, a walk and 7 strikeouts. He has kept Tarleton State at bay so far this evening, Keith.
Well, we talked about his tilt and talked about his breaking ball, and it's just been outstanding. And It's almost 7 feet in the air when he releases that good overhand curveball. 618 strikeouts this season for the Texas pitching staff, tied for the most. There have been some unbelievable pitchers pitched at the University of Texas, but they are one strikeout away from being all alone is this staff, the 2026 staff.
Schlossnagel has an autographed, extremely large picture in his office. One of those hurlers, the flamethrower himself, Roger Clemens, the Rocket. Had a lot of his rookie cards too, by the way. I want to say 86. Didn't he have 20 strikeouts in a game?
Yes, he did.
Sergio Guerra lead things off for Tarleton State. I mean, those were the days you would get one game on per week in the bigs, typically on Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or you could watch the Cubs on WGN.
Or the Braves.
Or the Braves on the Superstation.
Yeah.
I mean, the Superstation grew this country up for about 15 years because every night, 7:05, middle of the summer, you could count on Atlanta Braves being on television.
At 1:20 in the afternoon, you could count on the Cubs being on WGN.
Those were much simpler times, Keith.
Sometimes it's hard to find games now, but you're right. Everybody, when you were playing at that time, was so excited if you happen to be playing on Saturday game of the week.
Guerra to Rodriguez. One away. Well, mathematically, that UCLA upset to St. Mary's last night. Never seen a #1 overall national seed lose its regional opener. The Bruins did bounce back today in comeback fashion to eliminate Virginia Tech, but they were down 2 runs in the 9th inning before they won it. The other one that really stood out yesterday was Milwaukee, which, you look at the RPI after that 5-23 start, was in the 230s. Not 30s, not 130s, 230s. And what you know, tonight again, Milwaukee leading UCF 5-0 as of last check. Wow. That game only in the 2nd inning, the Auburn regional.
Getting hot at the right time.
Milwaukee started the season getting swept at LSU. Lost its next 2 at Duke. And then within 2 weeks, lost 8 straight. Lined out over to third. Borba came up with it after dropping it, collects himself, and throws out Smink.
That's a great effort to his left, but Borba crossover and dive. He has good depth at third base. This ball stays with it, doesn't panic, uses his arm strength to get the out.
Boy, Larson loved it. Valentez loved it. You have those years where you have teams like Fresno State, 2008, Stony Brook,
yeah,
that just come out of nowhere and do amazing things, and you start to ask yourself, is Milwaukee that team of all teams that perhaps do it this year? Kendall Johnson, Becerra, and a 1-2-3, 10-pitch, 5th inning. Through 5, 12-0 Texas here in Austin.
real fun. Just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
June 12th, Omaha, Nebraska, the place to be. And take a look at the Texas Longhorns. They've appeared in the Men's College World Series 38 times, the most all-time, and of course 65 appearances in the dance itself, also a national record.
Texas has been one of those schools, and it's been over decades. I mean, talked about Holy Cross in the game yesterday. The last time they met before yesterday's game was in the College World Series in 1952.
74 years ago. Corbin Walter making his 7th appearance. Now on the mound, the freshman right-hander for Tarleton State, trailing 12-0. I gave you some of the early season particulars of Milwaukee, the Panthers, Horizon League champions. Carson Tinney will lead things off. I'm looking at the box score from the last game that ended that 5-23 start this year. Came on April 3rd against Youngstown State. 7-4 setback at home. What if I would have told you that night a 5-23 team would make the postseason, win the Horizon League tournament championship, and in its first game upset the number 4 team in the land in Auburn? Tinney drives this one down the right field line. That one's going to be gone. No, it lit right off the top of the wall. The screen fooled me for a moment, and the throw into second tags Tinney.
Yeah, that might have got him up in the outside the helmet right there. Great effort in right field to try to make the play.
Just shake it out, that right shoulder. Well, the ball hit the screen there right in front of the bullpen. For a second, I thought somebody caught it in there. I mean, it was a frozen rope. It barely got 20 feet above the turf here at the dish. And off the bottom portion, lower third of that screen in front of the pin.
It's the glove that caught Tinney. Got a piece of him as he was starting his slide. A rocket the other way for a leadoff double.
Anthony Pack Jr. rolls it towards third. Tinney will take third on the play. Pack is ruled out at first.
You don't expect a catcher to move as well as he did. First of all, getting to second on a ball hit like that, and then moving up to third, because the third baseman knows Pack's got to go. He's got to get rid of it because Pack's speed anticipates that and able to move up on a ground ball to third.
Look at that sky. There's a burnt orange tint to it. It was 105 miles an hour off the bat of Carson Tinney.
It was smoked.
If you hit it through the screen out there, does that count as a home run?
It's just a double.
After ball 1 to Becerra, ball 2 in the turf towards the backstop, 13-0. Tinney scores on the wild pitch. Cannon doesn't get any quieter deeper into the night.
No,
here.
it doesn't. Can't be inside the ballpark. It's just outside. It's smoky. Seems like every time we've looked up, Roy, Tarleton pitcher is 3-0, 3-1. Just have had a really difficult time with the strike zone.
4-pitch walk to Becerra. Put our ace stats man, Mike Tuberosa, on the number of walks we've seen tonight. I'm not sure you're going to see a more picturesque setting in the sport than that right there. Welcome to Austin. Keith, how do you describe that?
It's like the back of Bevo.
Look down the first base line from that left field corner foul pole. I don't think you could come up with the mix of colors at your local hardware store to try to get a paint that matches that scene. And with more than 8,270 fans in attendance tonight, enjoying every moment of this one.
That's inside the stadium. Might be more. There's a bunch of people outside of it as well.
Hook 'em horns. Well, the fans seeing the same shots that we are.
A lot of people taking pictures of it. Miss the extra point at this point.
Baker's dozen. Talking to Jim Schlossnagle in his office 2 days ago. No problems remembering, reflecting, and propping up Tarleton State with what happened here in the regular season. Texans won here, as we talked about earlier in the show. And you just wonder, maybe you leave that conversation as the Texas skipper and you're reminded one more time of what happened a year ago in the postseason, what happened against Tarleton State 74 days ago. And, you know, at some point in time, you probably just get tired of talking about it, thinking about it, seeing it, mentioning it to your team. And you get an end result like what we've seen in these first 2 days, where you scored 19 in game 1, 13 and counting in game 2. And Rodriguez, that's a fair ball down the right field line. Stop sign is put up, throw comes in, up the third base line. Moving and shaking, dancing and scoring tonight for the Horns.
See Rodriguez turning. You can see him starting to get healthier as he turns and drives this ball. Comes down right on the line. Nice job of getting it back in again. Keeping the runner from first from scoring. And first hit of the night, Adrian Rodriguez.
The other thing that Anthony Pack Jr. told us, the practice on Wednesday. Here's Casey Borba. Becerra now at third. Anthony said they started, and he said it felt a little lethargic. And so Schloss was sensing that. Borba tonight 0 for 4. And about half an hour in said, you know what, guys, this stinks. This is not what postseason baseball is all about. And he sent him back in the locker room. And the players were talking about, well, what do we do? What didn't we do right there? And that kind of lit the fire.
Yeah, reset the moment.
That's exactly what it did. And Pack talked about it, and he said the skipper was right. And you wonder if, like, that was one of the moments you look back on as a fan of the Horns, as a player, Max Wiener, Tulo, and say, well, this thing started this year, this postseason, in a different and more correct way in our favor.
Sometimes there's a reset is important. just a mental reset.
So they started practice. Schloss didn't like it, sent him back. They came back out, renewed enthusiasm and energy, and that has continued here to the first 2 games of this regional. And you saw the bullpen on that double by Rodriguez moments ago. Hits on the line. And they're partying like it's no tomorrow back there. Borba. All the way to the track. Collected by Tatum. Deep enough to bring home Becerra. And another run.
Just wrong time. You can see as we're getting to dusk. It just does, the wind just not blowing what it was earlier, and that ball stays in the ballpark.
Rodriguez now at third base. Here's Ashton Larson. And as we speak, I'm being sent imagery of Keith Moreland's rookie card, the Philadelphia Phillies. Those blue uniforms, Donruss 1981.
Now there's one before that one.
It's a good looking card. And also the appropriate grief for the shot that hit the bottom of the screen there in front of the bullpen. Sounded like it could have been gone. Looked like it was for a moment. Everybody down that way, though, having themselves quite a night celebrating this start in Austin. Larson with a laser. Inning continues. Another run scores. Run scoring single. So after walking 3 times tonight, 3 hits yesterday, scoring twice. A knock for Ashton Larson.
Stays back, and boy, it's a really good swing on this. Just a laser to center. 15 runs on the board.
Larson's now been aboard 8 times in a game and a half. Rookie year was 1980. Full rookie year, or was it before that?
Rookie card, first one was 79.
Going off the pitcher, rolls towards first. And a lucky break for Tarleton State as Mendoza ruled out 1-3. The sun setting in Austin, Texas. The postseason beginning for the Horns. Take a look at the headlines around the NCAA baseball regionals. Talked a lot about the Bruins. They are still alive out at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Auburn still alive at Plainsman after a football score went up against NC State. Southern Miss eliminated. That's certainly newsworthy. And also the Tennessee Volunteers, 2-Q.
For the first time ever. So look at that. And, a lot of interesting stuff.
Jaden Duplantier now in left field replacing Pack. Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott. Atlantis still on the mound tonight for the Horns. And facing Jake Tatum, top of the order for Tarleton State.
Dylan, pitch count's in great shape. 71 pitches now. Pitching in here in the 6th. And really, the two guys we were highlighting in this regional as far as have really come out and pitched extremely well. Flora did a great job today. He was brilliant, efficient. Atlantis pretty much is matched in pitch for pitch.
Well, the premium matchup that could have been tonight with Jackson Flora and Dylan Volantis never happened. But the two have showed out in the 2 games today.
And both using their styles. Flora with his fastball and his off-speed stuff off of it. Volantis has really shown an outstanding breaking ball tonight, and then using his other pitches to go with that.
Tatum slinks it foul. Game started with a bang for Tarleton State, and it was off the bat of Jake Tatum into left field. Appeared to be a leadoff double. He was stretching. Great throw by Anthony Pack. Came off the bag at second. And since then, Volantis has been dominant.
That was a big play because all of a sudden you'd have a man in second, nobody out in the bottom because they're the home team. They have 2, 3, 4 coming to the plate. Volantis slips as he delivers that baseball. Sarah did a really nice job just keeping the tag on him until the foot came off. There was a time where he was not on the bag. Review, noticed it, and changed the call.
Tatum towards right center. And a diving attempt, and he catch it. He held on to it. Pendergrass out of nowhere.
This is about as good as it gets right there. A tip of the cap from Dylan Volantis. And a huge smile from Pendergrass. How about that? Vertical, on the run. Come up with it.
Aiden Robbins, Sports Center top 10, play number 8 this morning from his right field position yesterday. Pendergrass said, anything you can do, I can do better. Full extension on the turf. And robs a 2-bag hit at least from Tatum right there. Holy smokes.
I think he had a chance to get to it. I could tell Robbins was not going to get to it where he was playing, the angle he took. You just see Pendergrass come out of nowhere and lay his body out and come up with the catch.
Off the bat, you're thinking this is getting to the wall, and then Pendergrass closes.
How about his teammate, Robbins, leaping in the air.
Larson down to one knee. 3 unassisted. first game 19-1. The second game of postseason play, you've scored 15 with their ace on the mound throwing 5 shutout innings and counting. About a picture-perfect start as you could possibly hope for, as Texas has overmatched, overwhelmed, and dominated its first 2 opponents.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of the base on balls here, and then the other part in these 2 ball games, they showed their physicality, the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Valentes tried to backhand it, nearly did it. Second baseman Becerra up with it. Everything working for the Texas Longhorns. 15-0 through 6. Crowd on its feet at the dish. All Texas, all the time. A fast start here in the Austin Regional. Beginning yesterday, continuing tonight. The Bash brothers, the very top of this order, whether it's Aiden Robbins, Carson Tenney, Anthony Pack, all 3 have left the ballpark tonight at the dish, and Dylan Valentes serving up strikeout after strikeout.
He's just been outstanding, and look at this offense. It only 10 hits, but they've taken advantage of a ton of free passes and hit the ball out of the ballpark. Just look at it. Look at that combined distance of the home runs. It's nearly 4,000 feet in the course of this weekend so far. And to the bullpen again. Lovin will come into the game. He's a freshman from Flower Mound, Texas, Flower Mound High. His 13th appearance of the year. See his numbers as he comes on here at the top of the 7th. You make a great play in the outfield, a great diving catch. What do? You lead off the next inning.
And the first offering from Lovin, lower half of the zone for strike 1. Pendergrass started his baseball career at Spartanburg Methodist, then College of Charleston, now here in the SEC with the Texas Longhorns. Rounds out to short to start things off for the number 6 team in the land, the number 6 national seed, with the breeze blowing here in the top of the 7th.
It's going harder now than it has any time today. You want to get one up to left right now.
Well, second time tonight the leadoff man's been retired. From Pendergrass to Robbins. You know, Pendergrass was injured to start the year, battled a hamstring. Keith, you were talking about it with me yesterday. Only recently settled in that center field spot.
It's really helped this Texas defense when he's moved into that position. And you see why with that play he just made. last inning. Able to move Robbins to right field. All of a sudden, the outfield defense, which was a problem, is a plus.
Robbins down the right field. And 2 rows deep. You asked Jim Schlossnagle an interesting question 2 days ago here. And it was concerning his defense and the changes that have happened in the infield. Because you've got some parts that have been switched around, whether it's Borba or what's happened with Larson. And the skipper said he feels like this is his best defensive team, and he didn't hesitate in responding to your question.
Yeah, I mean, he said we seem to be settled in both the infield and the outfield. And guys are comfortable at their position. You've seen them make plays tonight.
Robbins to third. Smink. Offline, off target, and Robbins is safe.
Just sailed on him. And when you make a pitch to get an out, it's the other thing that kills you when you're having this type of ball game. You think, oh, I got a ground ball, I got an out, and then all of a sudden you don't get an out on the play. And you look up, and you got a man on first and 1 out. Tenney coming to the plate.
Oh, the E5. Third error of the night, charged to Tarleton State. Carson Tenney. Hit by a pitch, homered, walked. Doubled. Scored twice, driven in 2. And in all these different Texas rallies, feels like Carson Tenney's played a role.
At least the first 3 guys in the order have played a role, for sure.
Remember, Duplantier came on for Anthony Pack Jr. We saw that yesterday when Pack left because of extremely high temperatures and the cramping that ensued. Duplantier comes in, the base is loaded, and promptly delivers a grand slam. There's something about the 3-hole.
Yeah, it scored 5 or 6 times. It drove in 10. You know, it's one of those that you just, wow. That was a good spot to hit in the order.
Tenney draws another walk. And a reminder, Squeeze Play is back. ESPN, home for the NCAA College Baseball Regionals. Around-the-clock multi-game coverage. Scan the QR code in the left-hand corner of your screen right now. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage. Squeeze Play. There are, in fact, some closer games than what we have seen in Austin this weekend. Duplantier, the hitter. Georgia Tech now up on Oklahoma 8-3 after the Sooners battled back. How about Ole Miss? Don't let the Rebs get hot in Lincoln. A 2-1 advantage over Nebraska, top 6. Duplantier could be 2. The turn, the speed on display. He'll beat out the throw. Get the force at second. Tenney trots back to the dugout. And Robbins now standing at third base.
Those middle part of the country games with Ole Miss and Nebraska and Arkansas and Kansas, really interesting games.
Alabama leading USC Upstate 4-1. Florida on top of Miami 7-4 down in Gainesville. And some Texas fans watching tonight would be interested in what's happening over in College Station. The Bobcats from San Marcos, a 2-1 lead over the Aggies. Top 3 at Bluebell.
That ballpark, this breeze, that won't be all the runs scored there, I can tell you.
Cal Poly and St. Mary's. Winners bracket in LA tied at 1. And then again, some love for the Panthers out of the Horizon League. 7-0 over UCF.
Wow.
In Auburn. Becerra's 1 for 3. Back to the mound. And Lovin corrals it. For the third and final out. Stretch time in Austin. It's all Longhorns here at the Dish in prime time on a Saturday night. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Here in Austin, Keith Moreland, Roy Philpott, and a little bit of precip falling from the skies. Checking out the local weather radar and showing a 40% chance of light rain over the course of the next hour, and that has sent some of the burnt orange faithful into the concourse and under the overhang here at the Dish.
Dylan Volantis still back out there. He's impressive. He's 83 pitches. That was his 84th right there as he comes out here for the 7th inning.
Carson Lorch lead things off here in the 7th. Walked in the 4th. Grounded out the pitcher in the 2nd inning. Volantis has been as advertised and given Jim Schlossnagle exactly what he had hoped for. Becerra, one away.
Got to go back to the 4th inning. The only time in the ball game, Roy, that really 2 guys on in the inning came back with back-to-back strikeouts. Did Volantis to get out of that? Well, since then, he's retired, or after that second walk to Lorch, he's retired 9 in a row now.
Cage McLeod, the hitter. Keith, it feels like we haven't seen quite as many surprises today. Down the left field line. Plantier gives it a run. Out in Eugene, Oregon, and Washington State, scoreless bottom 4.
Winner of that to the regional final Sunday night.
You look at those two teams and you just think Chip Kelly, Mike Leach, Pac-12.
Yep, you do. And then, oh, by the way, coming out of the elimination bracket at that time is Oregon State, so you can throw another one in there.
The Beavers. Just chatting with Wes Clements, who's out on the West Coast doing that regional earlier today. He was asking what the story was on Jackson, Florida. And a resurgence in West Coast baseball this season. Talked about the year of the catcher. Now UCLA is going to have to make good on what's happened so far out in Los Angeles. McLeod was hit and awarded first base.
They dug themselves a hole. Got the first part of it out of it. It scored 2 in the bottom of the ninth to continue, and then found a way to win it.
All these games and these regionals starting to even out means tomorrow, outside of Southern Miss, that's the only national seed to be eliminated. Max Wiener is going to trot out of the dugout here. Do so with a little pep in his step. But tomorrow you wonder, we start to see these teams that have been on the ropes, Auburn, UCLA, and maybe somebody's able to break through and really start to send some shock waves out.
Yeah, we got to get that first 9 out of the way and put a W in their side, and then they got to find a way to regroup and turn around real quickly and play again. So you're in that elimination side here on Saturday. You're going to have to play 2 tomorrow and win 2 to push it to the 7th game of the region.
Strike 1 to Ike Shirey. Shirey that brought home a couple of runs here in that March 17th win by Tarleton State. Oh for 2 this evening. And Robbins on the move out in right field. Nice play.
Yeah, really nice job. A drop step that time. Made a nice move. Watching the ball all the way in. The ball was hit right on the butt. Robbins does a nice job giving ground. Making the catch. Reading that perfectly. That's going to be it.
This crowd scattered a bit when the rain started to come down moments ago, but they are on their feet for their ace, Dylan Volantis. Tell you about the new Texas pitcher after this. Well, between Jackson Flora and Dylan Volantis, we have been extremely blessed with some outstanding starting pitching today here in the Austin Regional. Volantis' evening comes to a close moments ago and only allowed one runner to reach second base tonight, Keith.
Yeah, he was just outstanding. Great combination. You see that the numbers right there. He is responsible for the runner at first base. 94 pitches.
Hamilton, the new Texas hurler, and Sergio Guerra greets him with a shot to left center. First hit of the night for Sergio, his third of this weekend. And Hudson Hamilton, junior from Spring, Texas, the right-hander on the mound.
Well, he's a guy that has done a bunch of different things. He started a couple of times. He's come out of the pen. He's a strike thrower. You can see 18 strikeouts to just 5 walks. He's a guy that comes in and attacks the zone.
Runners now at first and second. Smink. Now, Fuller Smith told us this week, Rafael Smink, one of the most improved players on this roster. Only his 4th year here in America. From Amsterdam.
Heck of a story. Come over to play ball.
Played in the Netherlands at an academy called Amsterdam Diamonds and was a 2021 European under-18 champion. And has just worked in practice, not said a word. And a drive towards the gap, and that's going to get all the way to the wall. And Tarleton State on the board. Smink drives home 2, 15-2, and the Texans are in the bottom of the 7th. Couple of runs.
One of those will be charged to Volantis, so did a nice job of dropping the hands and driving it to the wall, and something going offensively for the first time in the ballgame here in the bottom of the 7th.
Here's Kendall Johnson, 0 for 5 yesterday, 0 for 2 tonight. Keep that rain that fell out of the sky for about 10 minutes has dried up. And we showed you those shots of the sun setting about an hour and a half ago. Right before that, you could see those clouds were hanging down pretty low, and that helped provide some more of that burnt orange sky for a moment. But it ultimately led to a brief passing shower. Crowd scattered for a moment. A 15-run lead, you wouldn't blame anybody for going back home a little bit early tonight, but a lot of them stayed around, hung around to watch Dylan Volantis back into the dugout moments ago, which was a very nice moment.
It wasn't enough to affect play at all.
No. Strike zone not getting any bigger. Tarleton State will have to regroup. Quick turnaround. Santa Barbara and a rematch tomorrow afternoon early here in Austin. The winner of that game will play again. The regional final tomorrow night looks to be the Texas Longhorns, the 2-0 start.
Back to the top of the order here. We'll come out and talk to the right-hander Hamilton.
Smink at second and Johnson aboard on the walk, standing at first base.
Well, you're back to the top of the order here. This is a conversation about, hey, let's get the ball down, get a ball hit on the ground. You're not in threat of losing the game, but one of the other things you want to do is, if you can, is save some of your guys in the pen for tomorrow.
Well, Max Weiner, Luke Harrison had a great quote earlier this week, and he was like, Max, the kind of coach, he may send you a note and a text at 2:30 in the morning with a tip, a suggestion, a thought. Never stops coaching. I think he's a big believer. I mean, all coaches are, and everybody is, in confidence. And you know, Max was quoted at a sit-down interview with Chris Burke. He said, I want you to be fearless and love yourself so much. It doesn't matter who you're facing up there when you're on the mound. He's a big believer in arm slot. He's worked with Volantes a little bit. He's come down from the side here at the back end of the season. But I thought that previous quote was interesting. And not necessarily ignoring who you're facing up to bat, but having the confidence within yourself and to, quote, love yourself at such a high level where a lot of other things become irrelevant.
Well, his pitchers overall, as a staff, really good mound presence.
3-1 now to Jake Tatum.
All of a sudden, bullpen up and active for Texas.
Been a bullpen party out there at times today, and all the shots sent towards right field. Tatum to second, and the throw on the run by Becerra. Tarleton stayed on the board, 15-2 the score through 7 in Austin. Let's take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance tonight. And Keith Moreland, take me back in time earlier in this one to the second inning.
Well, you watch Texas. They have been physical all year long, and starts with Robbins, then Tenney, over the monster, and then Pack with his 4th of this regional. And Texas goes back to back to back, and that set the tone for this ball game.
You know, all that tells me with Anthony Pack Jr. is he doesn't cramp up yesterday. He hits 4 in that game a day ago instead of 3. Right, because everything just carried over.
Yeah, I'd love to see. You'd love to see a guy come to the plate with an opportunity to hit 4.
I think last year in the postseason, as Rodriguez digs in, was fortunate enough to call an immaculate inning.
That doesn't come along very often.
The 4 home run game by a single player, to me, I would put above the immaculate inning.
I've never called a game or been involved in a game where a guy hit 4 homers in a game.
I mean, there's that list out there that shows you the unassisted triple play, the 2 home runs in an inning, 2 grand slams in a game.
Well, is a no-hitter more prevalent than a cycle?
I'm going through the list in my mind. I would say yes.
I think there are more no-hitters than there are cycles.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Of course, one notch above the no-hitter, the perfect game. Unassisted triple play, 2 grand slams in a game, 2 homers in an inning, 4 home runs in a game. I've never called a triple play. I think I would lose my mind. Like, that would be, I would jump out of the booth, be a lot of yelling and flapping around.
Seen one. I've been involved in one when I was on the air. We've seen, I thought Tatis had 2 grand slams in an inning. Wow.
Unofficially, 350 cycles, 326 no-nos. Rodriguez deep into the night, all the way back against the wall, and it's gone. Hands starting to feel a little bit better now. 16-2.
This young man's has really battled through injuries in his career here at the University of Texas, but he's one of those guys. When you first saw him, you can say, this man can flat hit. Just trying to get healthy. Gets one and leaves the ballpark.
Sac fly for Casey Borba tonight. A couple of strikeouts his first time's up. Can we mention his incredible run last year against Kansas State? He drove in 8 in one game. And really the only spot in Jim Schlossnagle's order that hasn't produced at a career high clip these first 2 games in the postseason. He's got the shift in play. 3 infielders between third and second. Top of the 8th inning, Borba smashes that one foul. The immaculate inning kind of snuck up on me when it happened.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to walk me through that.
Well, because I wasn't tracking balls and strikes that inning. You get 2 quick outs, strike 1, 2, 3. Wash, rinse, repeat. And we get to that next batter, and I think what threw me off is maybe the first and second strikes were off of foul balls.
Okay, so now there's 8 pitches in the inning.
And at that point,
and it's 0-2.
Right, you realize. Down the left field line. And hooking foul. Borba announcing and reminding the Texas fans still here that that bat can get awfully loud.
Well, he hit 2 balls well, just a little bit out in front of it. Shift on in the infield.
For the final pitch, I was a little nervous, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to see it right here. Question was it a call or a swing and miss?
Swing and a miss, which was a great way to punctuate it. And at that point, I had mentioned the possibility, even when you got the 2 quick outs, the first strike, then the second. And I want to say I had maybe 3 different people in the booth just motioning, writing, scrambling, trying to make sure that I got it. Borba pops it up. Shallow left center. And Shirey McLeod, the second baseman, over that way. Puts on the squeeze, and boy, Rodriguez just let her high, swatted it right out of the park.
Yeah, he did. Got on top of it. It's hard to do. A good launch angle and got it out of the ballpark. Texas now with 11 hits. Part of that is the slug, though, with those 11 hits.
Five home runs, a couple of two-baggers. I don't think you're ready for this number. I'm scared to tell you this number, but I'm going to tell you the number. Because when you said 11 hits, I'm like, that does not sound right. To first for out number 2. McLeod steps on the bag. "17 walks tonight."
Well, usually a walk turns into a run. Well, 17 walks, there's 16 runs on the board, so it's pretty close to about a run for every walk.
I'm going to repeat that. 17 free passes this evening issued by Tarleton State. If you're Fuller Smith, is it flush it, forget it, move on?
Got to. You got to. And more than likely, to be honest, you probably have used some guys since early in the ball game that you were probably not counting on in your pen. So you got to know tomorrow, you got to have in your mind, I got to win 18 innings. Not only as a head coach, but you've got to convince your players to say, look, hydrate tonight, get your rest. We got to come out. We play early at noon Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern, and win that one to get a chance to play these Longhorns again. At least that's the way it looks right now with a 16-2 ball game.
Here's Mendoza to left field, and Heinrich tracking. Retire the side. Bottom of the 8th inning, Tarleton State coming back up to bat here in the Austin Regional. Keith Moreland, tell me what's going on in Eugene, Oregon. The winner of this regional will get the winner of the Austin Regional here with us.
Well, first of all, a big game yesterday with Washington State beating their old rival, Oregon State, and a really good one. Oregon took care of Yale, and then you see the Beavers move themselves into tomorrow's elimination game, awaiting the loser of Oregon-Washington State going on right now.
Ducks with the early lead there on Wazoo. And at 1-0, bottom 5 in Eugene. Michael Wenner, the freshman right-hander, now on the mound for the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, a very high recruit. Very excited to get him on campus. He's a guy that it's just got great stature. Huge young man, big 6'4", almost 6'5", big strong right-hander. Has struggled because of illness. He just has not. It's been the second half of the season before he really got a chance to get going. And he's a guy that, boy, at the beginning of the season, they were very high on, thinking he may be very much involved in this pitching staff. So he's got really good stuff. Ball jumps out of his hands.
Slade McLeod will bat first for Tarleton State. It'll be McLeod, Heinrich, and Lorch. 2, 3, and 4 for the Texans from Stephenville. There's an ongoing conversation on social media concerning the best barbecue. Different spots between here and Metroplex. Stephenville included in that mix.
Yes. I could think of a bunch. You start talking about all that big an area.
Winner will try to find the strike zone here. And will. 3-1. Postseason, relentless time of year. You see a number 9 Southern Miss eliminated in Hattiesburg in its own regional. Virginia, the honors earlier today. Little Rock with a 4-3 lead over Jacksonville State, bottom 4 in Hattiesburg too. Miami coming back in Gainesville, now trailing Florida 8-6. And the punch out by Winter.
And the first time he showed him a breaking ball in the at-bat. Starts it out away and just brings it back to the outside corner. Struggled a little bit with command, but watch this. The breaking ball just comes back. That's the first one. You've seen 6 pitches, and that strikeout sets a new team career program high for any season in Longhorn history. Wow.
619 strikeouts this year for Texas pitching. New single season record. And Max Weiner, big reason why the Texas young gun, Major League Baseball experience. Alabama now leading USC Upstate 6-2 in Tuscaloosa. Heinrich to center field. Pendergrass up with it. And with one away, a base runner for Tarleton State.
Well, a young man can flat hit. He just does not intimidate with 2 strikes. He stays in there. Short, compact swing. Second hit of the night.
Chris Ricard, the pinch hitter for Tarleton State. And he will hit for Lorch in the cleanup spot. Could be 2. Rodriguez, Becerra, double play.
Really nice job. It's all about the initial feed. Rodriguez, watch him set his feet quickly. Perfect feed for the 6-4-3.
Back at the Austin Regional, the top of the 9th inning, Carter Coffin, the senior lefty, now on the mound for Tarleton State.
Pflugerville, suburb of the Austin area right here. So local product coming back home. Pitch at the dish.
th appearance of the season. 0-2 record. Coffin. Try to record the 3 outs, get his team back up to bat one more time. Santa Barbara awaits the loser of this game tonight. Be at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 12 local, first pitch tomorrow. Gauchos eliminated Holy Cross earlier today. Crusaders, champions of the Patriot League, had a great time getting to know their squad this week and watching them play. An emotional C.J. Egri, senior center fielder and 2-time conference player of the year, playing his last baseball earlier. And that reminds us that, you know, whoever doesn't make it out of this regional, your senior players, they're done.
Yeah, and a lot of them will be the last time they ever get between the lines and play the game.
2 quick strikes to Darian Pendergrass. Egri caught the last out in the.
Got to give the Crusaders credit. Those back-to-back years making the field
No doubt.
64.
I was going to say he caught the last out in center field right near that Longhorn logo. And our camera crew caught him taking the baseball, shoves it in his back pocket, walking back to the dugout, and emotions running high.
Yep.
And fitting, really, for a player of that caliber.
Yeah, it's a 2-time Patriot League Player of the Year.
This was the scene, the final out, top of the 9th. And you can feel it's starting to get the best of him. That ball's not going anywhere except back home with him.
As an ex-player, it's one of the toughest things there is. You see that. Never going to be with those same guys again.
That kind of got me a little bit there. Blake Peterson will be the pinch hitter. Redshirt sophomore outfielder, head coach Jim Schlossnagel. Now it's an interesting night and afternoon tomorrow for the Horns because you couldn't be more dominant than what they've been hosting this regional.
Scored 35 runs to this point.
Pitching's been outstanding.
Yeah. Bullpen hasn't had I hate to use the term, but the guys that regularly come out of the pen have not been used. So their pitching's in great shape.
Sam Kozart, Ruger.
Crossland, guys that they've used all year. LeFew. Got a lot of arms that have not been used in these 2 wins.
So all systems go to the regional final tomorrow night. Really without being tested so far.
Haven't had to get those crucial outs late in the game.
Peterson lines out to short. And Shirey had it played perfectly for out number 2.
Hermes will pinch hit for Carson Tinney here.
Andrew Ermis, junior catcher, right-handed hitter. Set up towards the back of the box. This game started with fireworks galore. First couple innings.
A big play in this game was a leadoff hit off of the end of the bat off of Dylan Valantis that slid into second, safe, but in the transition of trying to get up, Becerra kept the tag. And getting out right there changed this ball game a lot, because now you would have the leadoff guy at second base and nobody out, and you're only down 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
Atlanta's settled in. Tarleton State didn't score until the 7th. Horns scored in the first 4 innings. 1-5, 1-5.
Yeah, crooked numbers.
3 more in the 6th. Another one in the 8th. Tomorrow is a new day. 2-2 to Ermis. Into center field. And a 2-out single.
It's one of those, as a pitcher, it comes back at you. Sometimes you think it's coming quicker. I actually think he snapped at it too quickly with his glove, and as his glove was coming down, it went right over the top of it into center field for a base hit.
Mississippi State, a team we haven't talked about, tied with Cincinnati in the Starkville Regional, bottom 5. Both teams with a run.
That place is hopping tonight, I can tell you.
Duty Noble.
It's hopping.
Done games there that have been better attended than half of Major League Baseball on that same day. That tells you anything.
I'm going to tell you what, the aromas are unbelievable.
Yes, they are. We had that once here earlier today. It was fleeting.
It's not fleeting there. You can see it.
Plumes of smoke off the grills in the outfield. Duplantier. Little top spin. Diving catch is made.
Took a bad first step, but found a way to come back, lay his body out to get. Johnson does a great job of reacting, coming back. The diving catch to end the frame.
Kendall Johnson, spectacular. Now the majority of this capacity crowd back at the Austin Regional. Headed back home, 16-2. Maddox Mansour, the new right fielder. And Michael Winter remains on the mound for the Longhorns. Guth Miller, pinch hitter. Retired on one pitch.
Yeah, really nice pick by Larson on the other end. As Borba had to go to his right, makes a tough play, tried to set his feet. So many times when you have to make that little cross move, ball's going to be in the dirt. And Larson with a really nice pick right there to get the out.
Andrew Ermis, the new Texas catcher. Ike Shirey inside for ball one. Well, it's been far from workmanlike for Texas to start this postseason run. It's been real, it's been spectacular, it has been electric. And a chance to keep it rolling tomorrow night in the regional final. Waiting the winner between these Tarleton State Texans and Santa Barbara.
With their second matchup. It'll be interesting tomorrow. Which team has the energy?
I mean, that's a real thing with this quick turnaround of the two teams having to figure things out on the fly. Chop to third. Borba again with some heat.
This time going to his left. Much easier to get your feet under you, make the play, and Winter with a couple of quick outs. Longhorns an out away from make a pitching change here. Schlossnagle heads to the mound.
Well, all smiles tonight. Nice round of applause for Michael Winter, heralded recruit, postseason reps. Take a final break here in Austin. Texans down to their final out when we come back. Back in Austin, Texas, and a big moment for the senior right-hander, originally from New York. Played some ball at South Carolina. Connor McCreary set to make his season debut for Texas.
He's a guy that's battled through a lot of different injuries and things in his career. He's a guy that has a good fastball. Fastball slider. Making his season debut. Trying to get the final out here. Push the Longhorns to the regional final.
It's getting late, about that time. Texas has not been threatened thus far in 2 games here at Disch Falk Field. Hitter for Tarleton State, Mason Kirk. And McCreary. Got to have some adrenaline here. Strike at 93 at the knees. Look at Volantis.
And you see a guy just come back on the roster, on the postseason roster, and getting an opportunity to pitch.
Three games last year, sophomore campaign in 24 in Columbia, South Carolina. A couple of quick strikes out of the bullpen. Oh, look at that Texas dugout, buzzing with energy. That'll do it. The strikeout for McCreary. What a way to end it. 16-2 the final. The Longhorns advance to the regional final tomorrow night here in Austin.
Well, it's just did an outstanding job. They have been so physical. Obviously set this career mark for total strikeouts as a team. Program history. Came out, took control of this ball game early and put themselves into tomorrow evening with an opportunity to punch their ticket to the Super Regional.
19 runs yesterday, 16 today in the bracket. The Horns tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern, back here at the Dish, awaiting the winner between Tarleton State and Santa Barbara. Loser of that game eliminated. And we cannot wait to see what this sounds and feels like this time tomorrow.
It will be an interesting crowd, to say the least. I'm really interested in that first one tomorrow, too.
Elimination contest to start it off, the first of two, and the regional final to come tomorrow evening. 16-2, our final score. For Keith Moreland, I'm Roy Philpott as we say good night from Austin, Texas.